Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the shop. I'm your host with the most foam roller. That didn't go out as I planned. Anyways, so it's Focus Friday, and today I want to take you all through a tutorial on how to foam roll. Self-myofascial release, giving yourself a massage. We all have knots in our bodies, and what happens is when you get these knots, if you've ever had a professional massage before, you know what I'm talking about. It's like this ball that's inside of your muscle that needs to get worked out. What happens is if you were to take this knot, take a piece of string, tie it in a knot, the string gets a little bit shorter each time, and shorter each time, and shorter each time. And those knots in our muscles work the same way. The more that we have, the shorter our muscle gets, and the less it's able to fully stretch out. And the problem with that is it causes the muscle to become what we call overactive or shortened, and then the opposing muscles then have to try to compensate for that, and it creates an imbalance within the joint, which then creates joint pain. And we don't want joint pain. Joint pain's bad. So this is one way that we can keep ourselves injury-free. It's preventative maintenance, and it is going to definitely help with joint pain. Now, I can't go over every single foam roll with you today because that would be about an hour-long video, but I am going to touch on some of the bigger, more predominant areas that most of us need work on, and which is mostly going to be lower body stuff. So calves, hamstrings, our adductors, and then some of our lower back as well. So we're going to kind of dive right into it today, and we're going to start with our calf muscles. Why? Well, because 99.9% of you that are watching this video have tight calf muscles, believe it or not, yes. And because that is one of the closest muscle groups to your foot, it creates a world of imbalances within your body that stem from the ankle up, causes the knee to get out of whack, causes the hip to get out of whack, then it causes lower back pain, then it causes shoulder pain. Believe it or not, yes, your calves can cause shoulder pain eventually because throwing everything out of whack. Because we're all about alignment, and when we're not in alignment, we're not able to, like a car, travel as efficiently with less vibration and less turmoil. So we need to get that proper alignment, and the only way to do that is to go see a professional masseuse. If you can't afford that, get yourself a $20 foam roller and lay it around on the floor and cause yourself some pain. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start with the calf, because I've got some great knots here in my calf muscles. And you can do this a multitude of ways. If you can get a high density foam roller like I have here. You can get softer ones. This one's from Walmart. You can get the knobby type ones. Those I don't personally like. I would prefer the flat ones. They're a little bit easier to work with. But, you know, all of them do essentially the same thing. They put pressure on the knot in your muscle, and then when you work it out and then stretch it out, then you get the muscle from short back to long where it needs to be. So we're going to start with our calves. Now you can lift yourself up off the ground. You might get a little bit of a, so I like to actually use the muscle, send it through its contraction phases once you find that knot. If both feet or both legs on there aren't deep enough for you, if you're a real glutton for punishment, you can lift and put some extra pressure there. So there's that knot right there. Now I'm going to roll it, I'm going to knead it, I'm going to work it. If you've ever seen a foam rolling video before, you may have seen them doing this, and they're just going to find the knot, and they're just going to chill there for about at least 30 seconds. So it takes at least 30 seconds for the Golgi tendon apparatus, the little thing in your muscle that controls lengthening and shortening, to actually deactivate. So that's why it has to be done for at least 30 seconds. 10 deep breaths is usually how I count it. That way I don't actually have to count to 30. Each breath takes at least 33 seconds. If you're taking an actual deep breath. All right, so you're going to see me working it. You're going to see me moving my ankle around. You're going to see me stretching and flexing this muscle to get deeper into that knot. So I'm really, really working it. Because when you go get that professional massage, they're not just going to grab the knot and then just hold it. Now they will do that, but they're going to fold it. They're going to work it. They're going to knead it. They're going to dig in there. So we want to try to replicate that same style of massaging, because that's how it's really going to break up all that soft tissue and get that muscle out where it needs to be. Okay, so calf muscle is pretty easy. Just, yep, there's a good one right there. Work that sucker. Good, good, and good. All right, then we're gonna bring it up a little higher to the hamstring. And we're gonna do essentially the same thing. We're gonna go one side at a time. We're gonna find that knot. Mine's a little higher, right about there. And then I can't stretch and flex my hamstring too much, but I can still roll it, I can still twist it, I can still flex it a little bit. It's gonna hurt a little bit more. Yep, there it is. But it's also going to work a whole lot better, and believe it or not, a whole lot faster. And if you don't believe me, I'll tell you a little story while we're down here causing ourselves some pain. One time, a few years ago, roughly 6 years ago, actually I think it was 5 years ago, about 5 years ago, I ran the Shamrock Half Marathon down in Virginia Beach. Now, I was, unbeknownst to myself, running this race until 2 days beforehand. But I had already done leg day that week. So I went into the Shamrock Half Marathon sore. Oh my God, sore. And my legs were already jelly before I was set to run 13.3 miles. Is it 3 miles, 2 miles, whatever, I don't remember. And it was ghastly. And the last probably 4 to 5 miles of that race, I pretty much just plodded along. I don't even know if you want to call it running at that point. But as painful as it was and awful as it was, and as much as it hurt to even put my leg into my vehicle to get home, once I got home, I hopped on this bad boy, this foam roller, did about a 15-minute session of foam rolling, and I was literally able to bend, move, stretch, full range of motion, simply just from foam rolling, massaging, and doing some stretching. So it works. I promise it works. It's horrible, but it works. Okay, so we hit the hamstrings. Now we're going to go ahead and flip it over to our quads. Now, a lot of you are really not going to enjoy this one. This one, quads are a little bit easier because you have a little bit more control over what you're doing. And we even get a nice little plank exercise in here. So foam rolling is actually an exercise, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I'm just going to kind of lean to one side, find that knot, and here, get off me, resistance band. Now I can really, this is so good, quads are so easy to hit because I can really get deep. Yep, there it is, And what I like to do is I like to do little pulses here. Once I find that knot, maybe a little twist, a little pulse. Oh, buddy, oh, that's a big one. And yeah, it's painful, so you're gonna have to sing a song in your head, watch a movie, do something to distract your brain, because this is gonna be incredibly uncomfortable. Incredibly uncomfortable. All right, let's hit the other side. There you are. All right, oh yeah. And just work it and just knead it. And if you need a break, take a break. Try to hold it as long as you possibly can. Again, we want to aim for at least 30 seconds. If you can't get to 30 seconds, that's okay on your first time. Believe me, I think I cried. I had to hold back tears the first time I ever foam rolled. Very eye-opening onto the amount of knots that were in my body. Holy cow. You can also lift a leg, put more pressure. Yep. Oh, okay. Or you can just lean to one side, more pressure. Good, and then get, oh yeah. So you can also kind of just do one of these too, and just roll it nice and slow. This feels pretty good too. I'll do a little, like a swimming motion while I'm there. Kind of just getting, it gets really deep while it's rolling down. Okay, cool, that's your quads. All right, now let's get some hip action here. So you've got what is called your IT band and your tensor fascia latte. Not a drink. You can't get it from Starbucks. So you have a group of tendons that go from your hip here to the top of your femur. So that is one spot that we're going to want to hit. It's almost like this just little tiny spot. It's not very big. It can be difficult to find. Once you find it though, you will know. I can almost promise you that. So we're going to find ours, and there She is. Right there. So it's just gonna be really tight for a lot of you, especially if you have any kind of office job, or if you have a sedentary lifestyle, or if you're active, if you like to run and cycle and swim and things. This is everybody. Yep, everybody's gonna have this. It's gonna be super tight. What I like to do, is just a little side to side motion here. I like to bring this leg up. This brings a little bit more pressure down to that area. Stretching the leg out will bring a little more pressure too. Leaving it out here will ease the pressure some. So this is, I'm a glutton for punishment, obviously. So yeah, there we go. And I'm going to get that sucker. And this, believe it or not, creates a lot of hip issues and lower back pain. So we want to stretch and roll this sucker out as often as possible. Ideally, after a workout, you would want to hit this foam roller and then stretch out. Now, obviously, not all of us have time to do that every single time. So I would aim for doing this at least 3 times a week. At the very least, please do this at least once a week, okay? All right, so now that we've got our TFL, we're gonna go down to our IT band. IT band runs from the top of the femur all the way down to the knee. And this is a group of soft tissue. It's not necessarily a muscle. Think of it as like a web that kind of holds your leg together. And there's gonna be a lot of really bad spots here. If you don't have any, I would be thoroughly surprised. You're gonna see that my leg's down here because I don't necessarily need the extra pressure there because I'm already feeling it. So again, try to do this for at least 30 seconds. Once you found that spot, just gotta grin and bear it. Oh yes, oh yes, breathe through. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so, and this will go all the way down into your knee. All right. This one is, and then, also bear in mind that, one foam rolling session may not get rid of that knot. This may require you to do it multiple times. Mr. Cricket, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Could you keep it down? You're really loud, dude. Shush. And so this might require, weeks. Yes, weeks of foam rolling and stretching and foam rolling and stretching for that knot to finally release, because you may have had this knot for the last 20 years, and so yeah, it's not going to go away in one session. All right, so now we're going to hit our adductors, and here we're going to get a little comfy with our foam roller. That's right, we're going to get comfy with our foam roller. I like to start at the knee, and then this is also a nice one because you can get a good range of motion to really dig in deep to the, I can find knots like almost instantly, because once you do this enough, you know where they are. You'll know where your trouble spots are. Your adductors, the muscles that bring your knee towards your body, towards the center of your body, are usually very tight, and creates imbalance in your knee. So if you have knee pain, this is definitely an area that you're going to want to address. There you go. Good morning. This is the best way to start the day. Screw Folgers, foam rolling, way better. And I can already feel some looseness in my knee joint just from hitting this muscle right here. And then you're going to roll this all the way up. Find the next spot. Again, 30 seconds each. I recommend going for the minute mark if you can stand it. And then again, continuing on up the rest of your leg. Now, another cool part about this is you can kind of roll it this way and get, some of the quads again. Different angles. Your body is not, a flat linear thing. So feel free to roll around on it. Feel free to twist with it. Anything that you are comfortable with, being uncomfortable with, do that. There is no necessarily right or wrong way to foam roll per se. There are some things that you do want to avoid, which we'll get to here in a second. All right, so I got my adductors, I got my abductors. Legs are pretty good. Now let's go ahead and move to the glutes. The glutes. So you can, I found a knot. You can sit on it like this. You can find a knot that's close to right where your butt bone is, and then you can kind of lean to the side a little bit and nail that sucker right there. You can put a little bit more weight on it. Lift your foot. Yeah, there you are. Good stuff. And roll that bad boy. Twist it. Get jiggy with it. Nah. All right, foam rolling. Good. All right, and then you can literally stretch that while you hit the other side, which is kind of cool. So, like I said, this can literally be a workout. This could be your Wednesday routine, your Friday routine, your Saturday routine, whatever you want. You can take this whole, because like I said, you can be doing this for a long time. You have to hold yourself up. If you're sore already, this could be difficult. If your shoulders are sore and your abs are sore and stuff, you may even feel this actually working, which is a good thing. So get that, stretch it out a little bit. Yep. Okay. And then let's go to the floor. All right. Here, I'm going to lift legs up in the air. We're going to stretch. We're going to stretch everything out that we just rolled. Go ahead and enjoy that. And then what I want to do is I'm going to get the roller right here, just below the base of my spine. And we're going to hit those glute meads right there. And you can, you can get fancy with it if you want. Make some circles, some semicircles. There you are. Good stuff. This is also a great core workout. You're going to feel some stretching in your abs and your lower back. This is actually one of my favorite parts. Oh, there we go. I got you. Found you. Work that sucker. Okay, good. Good morning. All right, let's go up a little bit higher now. I'm closer to the actual base of my spine, so I always like to just start it with a stretch. Bring it down nice and slow. This is going to be a great lower back stretch right here. Oh, don't let your feet touch the floor. Floor is lava when I'm laying on the floor. I'm burned up. Okay. And again, like I said, this is a great ab workout if you let it. So we can roll it around again. We're just hitting a different spot, a different angle. It might be the same knot. It might be big. It might be small. But we want to attack it from every angle that we can. Okay. All right. Let's go right here to the small of my back. Now, you might need to do this very quickly. I like to do it because oh gosh, it feels so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of press and roll up to my shoulders. Oh, so good. So good. I hope I'm still in frame. And I'll even do this a few times. Oh yeah, just felt a little back crack. Here, let's scoot up some so we can stay in frame. Oh, that's cold. All right. Yes. Foam rolling is your friend. Not your best friend. It's one of those friends that tells you the things you don't want to hear, but the things you need to hear. It's that kind of friend. All right, and then when you're up here in between the shoulders, I want you to cross your arms so you can get a little bit deeper into those shoulder muscles, rhomboids, trapezoids. Now be careful that you don't roll too far down into your rib cage and put too much pressure there and break a rib cage and then puncture your lung and die. That would be bad. Don't do that. And again, I'm going to take it through some ranges of motion. Found a knot, and I'm just going to kind of just move my arms around. Try to get, yep, I feel that one on the right side. Get a little bit deeper there. Good, good, good. Yeah. And roll it down again. Leave it right there. I'm not taking that. All right, I'm done. Video's over. Somebody stop recording. Magic button. I don't have one. I think I have one. I need to find it. All right. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. So, okay. Man, I feel great. Oh, it's amazing. All right, now we can actually do a little bit of our upper body too, and we can even get some arms in here. So we're gonna go ahead and get jiggy with it again. Get on down here, and I'm going to kind of angle it slightly at an angle here, and I'm gonna. So for some of you, this is might be a little more difficult if you have things in the way. What we're aiming for is to hit right here between the chest and the, oh, yep, the shoulder. Oh, sooky now. Yep, just like that. And ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Yep, that's my spot. Found it. Okay. And again, trying to take it through some ranges of motion and hit where the chest meets the shoulder is usually going to be the most tight and knotted part. If any of you have upper cross syndrome, you're going to hate this. I'm just forewarning you now. All right? Okay. That's great. And all right, we're good. All right. Oh, but it's working. I don't want to leave. It hurts so good. Okay. We'll finish that later. And last but not least, let's hit some triceps. So if you like to do bench presses and presses in general, and you have upper cross syndrome, then you're definitely going to want to do this as well. And we're just going to simply hit our tricep muscle. I know what muscle it is, I promise. All right, so here, back on the floor, and I like to kind of just lay my head on my bicep, and we're going to find, there you are, and then take it. Can you hear me? Maybe I should try the other side. Probably might be better. Yeah, microphone's over this way. Okay, cool, good idea. All right, so same thing. I got the same knot on this side. And here, I'm using my head just to put extra pressure, a little extra weight. I'm rolling it, I'm flexing it, I'm extending it, getting in deep. If you have ever had tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, then there's a good chance that your triceps were a part of that and are tight and they're bad. And man, I've had these knots, I'm not gonna lie, for years. You can ask any of my clients. I had one in particular that I worked on. I would use, I just felt it release. Oh God, it's so satisfying. Woo, hallelujah. I literally would use a barbell, a metal barbell, to work on these tricep knots because they can become a real burden. They can, oh gosh, they can be devastating to your workout regimen, whatever that word is. It's hard to think when you're in a lot of pain, okay? It's hard to think clearly. All right, so that is your tricep. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to stretch out all of these muscles, get them all stretching, because it's great to do this, but if you're not stretching afterwards, then you're not getting the full benefit of the self-myofascial release, the foam rolling, the self-massage, whatever you want to call it. So even when you go get a professional massage, which is great, definitely recommend it, you need to stretch afterwards. Very, very important to get the muscles back to their original lengths so that we can have optimal joint movement and we have less joint pain and we can avoid injuries. That's why we're here, right? Avoiding injuries. No shortcuts. Thank you guys for tuning in to Foam Roll Friday. Keep your focus. Finish strong. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, yeah. Woohoo!